I've done the opportunity to make the right thing. You know the things when they came at me, you know my pain, through your mental when I cried, down at the things, ready to change. Yes, you love me. I keep asking. As it's changed me, never an answer. Type of you get answers, stop rising. You feel sad, better let it down. Every conversation, anticipating. It's complete. On the rooftop, I'm gonna see.
What is up, fellas? What's up, baby? We're back. Monday Night Football tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the stream as always. Miami Mike, Suave, what's up, fellas? Appreciate y'all being here. Let's have a great night tonight. 100% agree, my man. 100% agree. Any Jacobs update yet? Yeah, we did get an update earlier, Sean. Schefter tweeted out that I think Jacobs is expected to play. I'll read the tweet because I saw it earlier, but right now Josh Jacobs is expected to play. Raiders running back Josh Jacobs, who was downgraded this weekend, went through his team's walkthrough practice this morning and is feeling better, which puts him on track to play tonight versus the Raiders. So Josh Jacobs, yeah, he's expected to play now, which really kind of like just it really makes me just not have much interest in the Raiders backfield. Like, I just don't know what they're gonna do with Kenyon Drake, with Jacobs. I think it's gonna be like a 50-50 split, really. I mean, I think both Raiders running backs are gonna be somewhat low owned, so maybe like in tournaments, if you want to get different, you could play them. But I don't. God, when it comes to the touch projection for those two guys, I mean, I think they probably you get a 50-50 split. Whoever scores a touchdown, I mean, you'll probably have to have, but good luck guessing who that's going to be. No, I got crushed this past weekend probably because I missed your video. Hey, man, if you watched my video, you probably didn't do that great either because I definitely missed a lot this weekend too. I mean, a lot of the chalk busted, which was great. The chalk just completely busted in week 1. Like Marquez Callaway, Kyle Pitts. I thought there was Raheem Mostert. Like whenever Trey Sermon got ruled inactive, Raheem Mostert started to pick up some attraction, and he got injured in the first quarter or like early on in the game. So yeah, there was a lot of landmines yesterday. If you didn't land on those landmines, you probably did pretty well, but I was on a lot of them. Do you play any cash lineups or just GPP? For Showdown slates, I don't play cash. Now I will play cash on the main slate because I think there's actually an edge, but for Showdown, I mean, Showdown's just pure luck every week. Like for me, I just play like a lot of lineups and a bunch of low dollar stuff and just hope to get lucky. Hope that I have the right combination. That's kind of how I approach Showdown. Like I don't play Showdown very heavily. But I think it's fine to definitely play cash on the main slate. Yeah, I do like Hunter Renfrow a lot, odd dot. I think Hunter Renfrow, he's probably going to get some ownership, but he's super cheap. 2,800, it's very unlikely that you see wide receivers be this cheap on Showdown slates, especially wide receivers that project to see 5-6 targets. Hunter Renfrow last season as the slot receiver, he was consistently getting 4, 5, 6 targets a week. At 2,800, I don't think he's going to go out there and break the slate or anything, but he can definitely give us 8 to 10 Draftkings points, and if he does that, he's probably going to be in the optimal lineup if I had to guess. I don't think I'd be playing Hunter Renfrow at captain because I don't think he has enough upside to be like a winning captain, but for like a flex play, if you're looking to save salary, Hunter Renfrow is a really good option. Bryan Edwards or Ruggs? I think I would probably take Henry Ruggs. I think Henry Ruggs gives you that deep. He's like a deep threat. He can go deep. He can catch a long touchdown. That's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking for upside on these Showdown slates. Like I think Henry Ruggs makes some sense as a captain option because like he could catch a 70-yard touchdown tonight, and I don't think anyone would be surprised. He wasn't really a guy that got consistent targets last year, but he's probably going to be their wide receiver 1 this season. Between him and Bryan Edwards, it's pretty close between those two guys on who's the number 1. Obviously, Darren Waller is probably going to lead the Raiders in targets, but Henry Ruggs, I think, will consistently get some volume this year. And he's a talented receiver. He's got a ton of speed. He's got upside. The matchup's not good, but on a Showdown slate, we can't really look too much into that. Best way to get different tonight? I mean, it's going to sound like stupid, but I think the best way to get different is just not play Lamar Jackson. Because, I mean, Lamar Jackson's going to be like 90% owned. I mean, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to play Lamar Jackson in a good amount of my lineups. I might play him in every single lineup. But if you really want to get different, if you're trying to win the millie, solo ship it, I mean, just fade Lamar Jackson and hope that he busts. Because if he does, I mean, you're going to be way ahead of the field. Just know that you're probably not going to win. I mean, there's a very good chance that Lamar Jackson puts up like 35 DK points tonight, and if you don't have him, you're drawing dead. But he could get injured. I mean, you never know with football. There's plenty of variance in a sport like this. So I would say best way to get different is probably just fade Lamar Jackson. Or maybe like play the Raiders running backs. Like I don't think the Raiders running backs are going to be that popular. And Jacobs, especially since he's questionable, he's not going to get a ton of ownership at all. I'm liking the music in the background. Yeah, I figured I'd leave the music on. Normally I cut it off whenever I start the stream, but I figured I'd leave it going. I want to make sure it's really quiet though. I don't want you guys to, I don't want it to be too loud. Renfrow a good captain? Nah, I wouldn't be playing him a captain. I just don't think he has enough upside to be like a winning captain. But he definitely is a good flex value if you're looking for just a cheap play. What's up with our Seminoles? We can't catch a break. God, it's bad, man. God, it's bad. Being a Florida State fan is not fun. Tough loss week 1 to a good team. Feeling good about the season, and then we go and lose at home to a Division 2 school, Jacksonville State, on a Hail Mary. God. Bad. How about them Chiefs? I thought the Browns were going to pull it out yesterday, but the Chiefs, man, that offense, you can never count the Chiefs out. Tyreek Hill just always finds a way to get open. He's basically just unguardable. Kickers viable. I mean, the kickers are always fine, Christopher. I never prioritize the kickers. Like, rarely am I just saying, yep, I got to play the kickers tonight. But they're going to get you probably 8 to 10 points most nights. If you're building out your lineup and you have enough for the kicker as a value, like, I think you definitely can play them. But I probably would rather play, like, Hunter Renfrow over the kickers. Because I think Hunter Renfrow can at least, like, catch a touchdown and put up 15 DK points, whereas kickers probably are not going to do that. Both quarterbacks and Renfrow is what I'm building my lineup with. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, I like that build, John. I mean, normally I play both quarterbacks. Like, I'm usually always pretty heavy on the quarterbacks on these Showdown slates because the quarterbacks are just they're so safe. You're going to get probably double digits from both quarterbacks tonight. It's very likely that both quarterbacks will be in the winning lineup. Like, you can play Lamar at captain, play Derek Carr, and if you plug in Hunter Renfrow for value, that leaves you still over 6K left per player. So you got plenty of salary to work with. Like, you've got some of these receivers like Henry Ruggs, Sammy Watkins, Bryan Edwards. These guys are below 6K. You plug a couple of them in, maybe like a Tyson Williams, and you're good to go. The only thing that sucks though is that's probably going to be a pretty popular build. Do you have ownership on Waller? Yeah, I can look at his ownership real quick. I don't ever pay for ownership projections or subscribe to projections, but for football I do. So I can show you guys, or I can tell you at least. So right now the ownership for Darren Waller on Draftkings, he's projected for his total ownership, captain plus flex, is 62.9%. His captain ownership projection is 11%. So he's projected for around 50% in the flex and 11% at captain. Darren Waller is. But, I mean, the ownership projections, they're projections. Like, they're never 100% accurate. So, just take that for what it's worth, I guess. Best Ravens running back tonight, I mean, it's got to be Tyson Williams. Like, Tyson Williams, he's going to be their number one running back. So, the Ravens only have 3 active running backs on their roster. Tyson Williams will be the number one, Latavius Murray, and then Trenton Cannon. So, they have Le'Veon Bell and they have Devontae Freeman, but both of those guys are still on the practice squad and they will not be playing. So don't roster Le'Veon Bell, don't roster Devontae Freeman. They're not playing tonight. The only active running backs that the Ravens have are these 3 guys, Williams, Murray, and Cannon. And I think Williams is going to be the number one. He's definitely going to be the lead back. He's going to get a bulk of the carries. It's already been reported that he's going to get a bulk of the carries. So if I'm going to play a Ravens running back, it's going to be Tyson Williams for sure. And we know the Ravens are a very run-heavy team. They could abandon that tonight because, they're so thin at the position. They could decide that, we'll just throw the ball more tonight, but I think we get probably 12, 15 touches for Tyson Williams. So he's definitely in play at 6,800 for sure. Waller will be 95% owned for sure. I don't think he'll be that high, but yeah, Darren Waller will definitely be. Right now, they've got him at what? Let's see. They got him at 62 total percent. He probably will be over that. Uncle Paulie. Holy shit, man. $99.99 super chat. $100 super chat from Uncle Paulie. Love the content. Treat yourself with the money. I appreciate you, Uncle Paulie. My God, man. You did not have to donate that much, but I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate that. Pretty sure Uncle Paulie's a longtime subscriber. I think he's a Patreon member as well. He supports the channel a ton. So thank you, Paulie. Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that super chat, brother. Appreciate it. Renfrow, Edwards, or Watkins? I mean, for the savings, Deshaun, I would play Renfrow. But if you're just asking like who projects better, it'd be close between Edwards or Watkins. I mean, right now, let's see. Total ownership on Sammy Watkins is 22%. Total ownership on Bryan Edwards is 26%. They're going to be similarly owned. They project very closely. I would probably play Sammy Watkins, but like if you're playing Lamar Jackson at captain, you might want to have a few of his receivers in your lineups. So then I'd probably take Watkins there. Tyson Viable at captain, what's his ownership? Yeah, I think Tyson Williams is definitely a captain-worthy option. I mean, if he's going to be the number one running back, he probably is going to get, again, 12 to 15 carries. I assume he gets the goal line work. There's a possibility that he scores like 2 goal line touchdowns. If he does that, that probably means Lamar Jackson's not having a great game, but Tyson Williams, I think, is for sure captain-worthy. His total ownership right now is 40%. His captain ownership is 6.7%. So he's only projected to be 6% owned at captain, which is fairly low. Definitely like Tyson Williams as a captain option. Mark Andrews and Brown or Waller and Tucker. I'd take Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown. If you're playing both those guys, Deshaun, you probably want to make sure you have Lamar Jackson in that lineup as well. So if you're going to play like 2 or 3 Ravens receivers, you're probably going to want to have Lamar. Watkins, Ruggs, or Edwards. I think Ruggs gives you the most upside. I think he's just the most talented receiver of those 3. I think he gives you like the deep play or like the big play upside. He's a deep threat, so I probably would take him there, Abdad. But again, all 3 of those guys, Watkins, Ruggs, Edwards, they all project, so closely. Duvernay could be a good punt if you want to get a little different. I mean, yeah, he should be the wide receiver 3 for the Ravens behind, Marquise Brown and Sammy Watkins. He'll probably play like 50, 60% of the snaps. He'll probably run, like 20 routes or something. He's pretty cheap. I mean, Hunter Renfrow, I feel way better about. Hunter Renfrow's a similar price tag to Duvernay, but Duvernay's going to be half the ownership. Right now, Renfrow's projecting for 20% total ownership. Duvernay, 10%. So if you want to get a little different in tournaments, I guess you could play Duvernay over Renfrow, but I personally would rather play Renfrow. But yeah, Duvernay's he's a punt option for sure. That's fine. Foster Moreau at 1K. God, I just rarely play the backup tight ends. Like for Foster Moreau to be in the winning lineup, I mean, he's going to have to score a touchdown because he's only going to get probably 1 or 2 targets at most. I mean, last year, yeah, he was basically like a guy that got 1 or 2 targets a game. Again, like in GPPs in the Millie Maker, if you want to play Foster Moreau and hope he scores a touchdown, go ahead. But I definitely don't feel great about that. Duvernay or Renfrow, again, like I think Renfrow's Renfrow's the better option. I think he projects better. Duvernay's going to be lower owned, so do that with what you will. But I say straight up, I'd rather have Hunter Renfrow. I think Sammy Watkins gets his one amazing game for the season and then goes away rest of the season. It seems like Sammy Watkins does that every year. I mean, he's in a different offense now. He's obviously not in as good of a pass offense as he used to be when he was with Kansas City, but it does seem like he has like one massive game a season, and it was week 1 last year. He had 21 DK points week 1 last year. It seems like he always goes off early in the season and then he just sucks the rest of the year. So yeah, Sammy Watkins could definitely have a big game tonight. I don't think I'd be surprised. But deciding between Henry Ruggs, Sammy Watkins, and Bryan Edwards, like getting those 3 guys right, choosing between those 3, getting the correct one of the 3, I think is going to be just what decides the slate, honestly. Sammy usually has a nice game. Yeah, I agree. It seems like he always has a big game, first game of the year, and then, again, he does nothing after that. So, I mean, Sammy Watkins right now, he's not projecting for too much ownership. His total ownership, let's see. Yeah, his total ownership is 22%. Of those three 5K receivers, Edwards, Watkins, and Ruggs, right now, Sammy Watkins is projecting lowest of the 3, lowest owned. 30% going to Ruggs, 22 to Watkins, 26 to Edwards. And Henry Ruggs projecting only 5% at captain. See, I think that's one I would want to have a lot of Henry Ruggs at captain, just because he's got that big play upside. Like, he's a guy that can catch a 65, 70-yard touchdown because of just he's a quick receiver. He's a deep play threat. Those are the kind of guys I like to roster at captain. Real quick though, guys, I do want to give a quick shout out to PrizePicks. I know most of you have already signed up for PrizePicks, but if you have not yet, check the link down below in the description, or just use promo code NOAH when you sign up for PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a little bit different than than DraftKings or FanDuel. They're more player prop based, but they have a ton of stuff available for tonight's game. You can do fantasy point projections, so they have fantasy point projections for just about every player. You basically pick whether you think they go over or under their fantasy point projection. You also can do player props, so they got passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions. I mean, they got everything. You can just do just about everything on PrizePicks. So if you guys want to check out PrizePicks, you haven't yet, use that code NOAH when you sign up. You'll get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will match that. They'll give you an additional $100 to play with. So then you'll have $200 that you can use if you want to, go heavy on tonight's game. You can make a bunch of picks on PrizePicks for tonight. But for me, so PrizePicks plays for tonight, I would say I already did a 4-pick power play, and I had over. I don't want to give all my picks away because I do that. I try and give some of that stuff to Patreon members, but I had over on Henry Ruggs receiving yards. I talked about that in my video. His projection before, it was 34.5. They've raised it up a little bit to 39.5, but I still do like the over on Henry Ruggs receiving yards. I think that's definitely just too low of a projection. But then some other ones like Bryan Edwards, he go over on his receptions. I mean, I think it's pretty likely that Bryan Edwards gets at least 3 receptions tonight. So I kind of like the over on Bryan Edwards receptions. That's another one I took in my power play. But those are just a few picks I like. I don't want to give too much away because I do give some stuff away to Patreon members. But those are a few I like for tonight's game. Over on Ruggs receiving yards and over on Bryan Edwards receptions. Let's see here. Do you play the Monday, Thursday Classic slate? I normally don't, Suave. I normally don't. Especially with Showdown being, there's just so much money put into Showdown right now. That's where all the big contests are. So I usually just focus on Showdown. I used to play the primetime slates, like the Sunday, Monday, the Monday, Thursday. But when Showdown became a thing and they started putting so much, the big money into the Showdown contest, I just quit playing those and I started playing Showdown. And Yahoo, if you guys play on Yahoo, definitely keep an eye on their big tournament tonight. It's a 200K total prize pool, 20K to first. Right now, it could have a lot of overlay. It's only got 8.5K entries out of 22K, and lock is in less than 2 hours. So if you guys play on Yahoo, keep an eye on this big tournament. There could be a lot of overlay on Yahoo tonight. There was a lot of overlay last night for the Sunday night game. I played 150 lineups in their big tournament. It didn't go well for me. I got back half my money, but there was a ton of overlay on Yahoo last night, and there probably is going to be overlay again tonight. You guys need to be taking advantage of these opportunities. Whenever there's overlay for sites like Yahoo or any other site like that, that's where you can get a big edge. Your chances of winning are a lot higher when you have big time overlay like this. We're going to be live for a few more minutes, though, guys. So if you got any last-minute questions, you can go ahead and throw them in chat. But, it's a Showdown slate. There isn't too much to talk about. But if you guys do have any more questions, feel free to throw them in chat. I was hoping we'd get some news on Josh Jacobs pretty soon, but it seems like he's going to play. I don't think we really need to be sweating that one too much. Inactives will come out in 30 minutes, so... Good luck tonight, Noah in chat. See y'all at the top. Hey, see you at the top, Suave. If I don't take down a tournament tonight, I hope one of you guys do. Edwards or Ruggs? Again, that's such a close one for me, Nick. I think I prefer Henry Ruggs just because I think Henry Ruggs gives you deep. He gives you that deep play potential. He gives you that big play potential, that upside. He can catch a long touchdown. I think he's the more talented receiver of the two. But both Ruggs and Edwards project very similarly at the projections that I look at. So. I mean, it's a coin flip between the two, but I think Ruggs gives you more upside. How many touchdowns does Carr throw tonight? I mean, I think they're going to be playing from behind, and I don't know how effective their run game's going to be against the Ravens defense, so I think Carr can definitely throw multiple touchdowns. And that's another pick I kind of like on PrizePicks. His projection on PrizePicks right now is 1.5 passing touchdowns. Obviously, if you go over on that, he only needs to throw 2 touchdowns, and I think he can easily do that. So that's another pick I kind of like over on Derek Carr's passing touchdowns. I just think the Raiders are going to be playing from behind, and they're going to have to throw. Josh Jacobs will play limited snaps. I mean, we don't have that news yet. He could, but I'd assume he's going to be full go tonight if he's playing, which it seems like he will be. Just joining, what do we think is going to happen in the Ravens backfield tonight? We talked about it earlier, Bill. I think Tyson Williams is going to get the bulk of the carries. That's what was reported already. And then Latavius Murray will be the backup to Tyson Williams, and then Trenton Cannon's like their third string running back. But Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, both are not playing. They're both on the practice squad still. So the 3 active running backs for Baltimore are Williams, Murray, and Cannon. And I think Williams is the guy we probably want to be rostering if we're going to play a Ravens running back. What's up, Victor? What's up, man? Think Kenyon Drake has a good night? I said it earlier, like I'm probably avoiding the Raiders running backs because if Jacobs and Drake are both healthy, like if Jacobs plays, I think it's going to be like a 50-50 split between Jacobs and Drake. And it's just going to be so tough to predict which one has the better game. I'm more focused on the Raiders passing game. I think the Raiders passing game with Waller, Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, those are the guys I'm rostering from the Raiders. I'm just going to avoid the running backs and hope that they like neither one scores a touchdown or something. Can Raiders O-line stand up against this defense long enough to throw? I mean, I guess we'll see, Jeffrey. I guess we'll see. What do you think about Williams as a captain? I think Williams is a fine captain. He's going to get, I think, the bulk of the carries. You're probably going to need him to score a touchdown, if not multiple touchdowns, because I think it's unlikely that he runs for like 120 yards, but at 6,800 as a mid-range captain option, he's for sure viable. Thoughts on Watkins? Yeah, we've already mentioned Sammy Watkins. Between Sammy Watkins, Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards, I mean, you're really flipping a coin between those 3. They all project so closely. If I had to pick one, Henry Ruggs is my favorite, so I probably would take Henry Ruggs over Watkins, just to be honest with you. But Sammy Watkins should be the wide receiver 2 for Baltimore. He's going to play probably 70-80% of the snaps. You know, the Ravens are not a very pass-heavy team, but Watkins has one good game a year. It seems like tonight could definitely be that night, as you know, you guys mentioned earlier in chat. I think Drake is overpriced on DK. I mean, yeah, he kind of is. If he's going to be used as like a backup running back, he's pretty expensive. 7,200 is a lot to pay for, you know, a running back that's in a timeshare. And I guess same could be said for Josh Jacobs. What's up, or what's good, Noah? Hope you had a profitable Sunday. Is it dumb to fade Waller and able to fit both QBs, Renfrow, Ruggs? Sorry if you already touched on it. I mean, I'm fine with that, Alec. Like, I think it's, if you want to play both quarterbacks, and, you know, obviously if you're playing both quarterbacks, it's going to be pretty tough to get Waller in. So, I'm fine, you know, not playing Waller if it lets you get both quarterbacks. I mean, right now, I think Derek Carr projects almost very similar to Waller. Yeah, so right now, Derek Carr does project better than Waller. And that makes sense. I mean, quarterbacks are always going to project pretty highly. Normally, quarterbacks are always going to be towards the top of the, you know, projection list for these showdown slates. And Darren Waller is going to be more popular from the ownership projections I'm looking at, so I definitely would take Derek Carr. And just hope that Carr doesn't throw any touchdowns to Waller. That's basically what you got to hope for. Who are you leaning on tonight? I mean, if I had to pick, like, I don't bet on games. I can't bet on games where I live legally. But, you know, if I have to pick who wins tonight, I'm going with the Ravens. I just think the Ravens are the better team. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. We've been live for 30 minutes or so. I think I answered, you know, just about everybody's questions. I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hope you guys win some money tonight. Best of luck on this showdown slate. We'll have more content posted throughout the week. You know, we'll be covering the main slate for Sunday. We'll be covering the Thursday night football game. We'll have a showdown, or we'll have a video up for that showdown slate. So, gonna have a ton of content on the channel. If you guys have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Click the like button before you do get out of here, and also check out PrizePicks if you have not yet. Use promo code Noah when you do sign up for PrizePicks. Get a deposit bonus up to $100. If you deposit $100 on PrizePicks, they will match that. They'll give you an additional $100 to play with, and you can go check out their board for this Monday night game. Get you some picks in. Got a ton of stuff available when it comes to player props. Also, you can take, you know, over under on fantasy point projection as well. So check that out, guys. Link down below, or just use that promo code when you sign up. But good luck tonight, guys, and thanks for tuning into the stream as always. Appreciate you guys.